Okay, it being after 7 o'clock, the Wednesday, September 10th, 2025 meeting of the Conservation Commission will come to order. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first order of business, approval of minutes for the August 27th, 2025 meeting. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's unanimous. Certificates of compliance, 242-140, partial COC request for 149 Bridges Lane, Lot 63.
So this is a non-jurisdictional property that for some reason keeps coming up on a title search under this order of conditions. The closing attorney, the property's going through a transaction, and the closing attorney wishes to obtain a partial COC just to clear the title and remove all doubt. Back in April of 2024, I had actually did research for another inquiry about 140 Westway, and I provided you a copy of my summarized findings, noting that 242-140 only governed lots that were on Westway and nothing on Bridges. So I would recommend issuing a partial COC indicating that this lot is non-jurisdictional and not governed by this old order.
Sounds like an administrative error. Okay,
What partial enough for?
That was my question too, actually.
sorry.
Is it partial because it's,
Just a
is it still
singular.
an order
'cause
that
it's-
covers other lots?
Well, because it's it's a singular lot, so I'd rather just keep it to say, we are talking about,
Okay, so by
This
issuing the
parti-
partial, it fully absolves that?
absolves this property.
Okay,
Yeah.
So there is still an active COC
Outstanding,
outstanding.
let me see.
While she's doing
Yeah.
that, I think the practice in the past has been to have a large project that governs the subdivision, the roads, the drainage structures and things like that. And then the jurisdictional lots would have individual NOIs against them that, that they would have to satisfy. And however, the larger lot might have 30 lots. The larger project might have 30 lots in it, and they would go for partials for each of the lots.
So each lot would have two orders open at the same time?
That's my memory, yeah. Yeah. One is part of the larger project, and the other specific just to that lot.
So it's funny, with
But,
this particular file, I'm finding that a lot of these there's a whole bunch of partial COCs for 242-140. And so far, none of them are the ones listed in the order of conditions. So there's something about how this recording put out tentacles to other properties.
But this project is non-jurisdictional, this lot is.
This lot is non-jurisdictional.
I'm fine with, this is how it has to be done procedurally. Sorry to
Yeah.
Oh, no,
ask
no, no,
a whole bunch of
that's-
questions.
No,
that's-
that's,
It didn't really register that that's what was going on, so.
any questions from you, Sean?
Nope, I can see the request of a partial, I have no problem with that.
Matt, any questions?
no, thank you.
And I need a motion.
I move that we grant the partial COC for 242-140.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? Being none of those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's approved. Next up, 30 Ann Road, 242, 1878, request for certificate of compliance.
All right.
And before you go,
Oh,
Mr.
yeah,
Chairman,
so-
I'd like
sure.
to make a motion to consider the certificate of compliance for 242-1878 after we consider the enforcement order for 242-1878. So I don't have a preference as to which we move where, but I would ask, my motion is that we consider the certificate of compliance request after we consider the enforcement order.
Yeah, that's a reasonable request. Yeah, let's do them both together. We can do them now. Okay, Amy, you're up.
So the commission will recall that this is order issued in May of 2024 governed construction of a sewer force main connection to replace a failed septic system. In February, I discovered that the work had been done without any pre-construction requirements being met. We issued an enforcement order in February 26th. Since then, they've worked to address all of the pre-construction requirements. One of the main things is sleeving a section of the force main over the culvert, which they originally did not do, and so they had to dig it up again and sleeve it, and the design engineer verified that. So we have an as-built plan showing that that's been carried out and verified. So during one of our spring site visits, the field inspector and I went into the wetland just to see if any of these wetlands function as a vernal pool. And we did find egg masses near wetland flag 15, 14. And I had the engineer pick that up for edge of pool within the wetland. So at least part of the property is projected with the vernal pool offsets with the 50-foot no build zone, 75-foot no, 50-foot no disturb zone, 75-foot no build zone. The only non-compliant thing that they did without first coming to the commission, other than all the other pre-construction stuff, was building a pea stone sitting area. I guess you'd call it a patio, but it's just all pea stone at the back, and then a walkway connecting the deck to the rear of the driveway. So Alec Shongris, the design engineer, is here this evening, if you have questions for him.
Okay, so just to be clear, the original notice of intent was to install the sewer force main sleeved over the culvert and
Abandon the septic system.
abandon the septic system. The pea stone patio was not a part of that original filing?
Right.
Okay. Okay, well, let's go to the commission. Brad?
So the Keystone patio is now part of it? Okay.
Well, it was work that was discovered that
Yeah.
to have been undertaken once we,
The last thing I was supposed to care about here was that carrier pipe, and then we're supposed to be all done. And now we have a patio?
well, that was something that we knew about and got onto the as-built plan. And then knowing that I still wanted to do some vernal pool investigations, I said, well, let's just wait till we have a plan that shows everything that's going on the site. Because I had a sneaking suspicion that there was vernal pool critters in there, so that's why.
pea stone, pervious?
Well, Alec Chong's Engineering.
Actually,
Sorry, not done yet?
yeah, we'll go through the commission and give you
Yeah,
a chance to
absolutely.
respond. Thank you. Brad, go ahead.
I was trying, is it a pervious pea stone patio? I can
Oh,
ask, right?
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so Alec Chong's Engineering. Yeah, so it's a pea stone, very loose pea stone. So the patio on the left side, that was essentially all new. That was like very torn up grass and not very poor runoff
Sorry about
conditions.
that.
The one on the right side, that was a very poor patio walkway area. It looks like it was a little bit expanded. I don't believe I actually located in that beginning because, like I said, we were strictly focused on the sewer line extension, excuse me, the sewer line connection. But in terms of runoff area, it depends on town by town. Some towns treat this as essentially just as a storage. Essentially, it's about 3 to 6 inches of stone. So there are some downspouts that are technically going onto that patio, which will provide some storage rather than increase runoff conditions.
You probably should just call it
I know, right?
Pond.
It's pond.
a pervious patio within just the no build. I think I'm okay with that. And we got our pipe on the pipe,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's all I really wanted.
And it's any of this pea stone is no closer to the wetland than the existing driveway.
Oh, okay. I'm all set.
Before we move on to Marissa, Amy, the existing conditions plan, did it show this stone patio or walkway that goes from the deck to, while you're looking up, we can go down the commission.
Yeah, I think I'm all set.
You're all set. Okay.
No questions?
No questions? Matt, any questions from you?
Just to be clear, this is on the certificate of compliance.
This is on the certificate of compliance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any questions. I have a problem issuing the certificate of compliance as we sit here today, and I'm not sure if this is the time when we talk about enforcement orders, but the history of this matter disturbs me, because we had an order of conditions in place for this property that was almost entirely disregarded by the property owner. It turns out the sleeving, which has been remediated since, but wasn't included, and really none of the wetlands protection sort of conditions that we had put in the OOC were complied with. So we have really no idea what, if any, damage happened or could have happened as a result of the construction. So given the way this is unfolded, I think the commission should consider a fine before we consider issuing a certificate of compliance in this particular case.
I think those are good comments. I have similar concerns where the project is stated to be within compliance with the NOI. However, there is work within our subzones, specifically our 50-foot no-build subzone, that was not approved under any previous order or order modification, I believe. So there's, I guess we have two options. We could just look the other way and say, well, we probably would have approved it anyway, being right next to the driveway. Or we could say, this is really a modification. Technically, it is a modification. It's within our subzones, it's within our jurisdiction, and it wasn't approved as part of the NOI. So we could ask you to go back and ask for a modification, discuss the modification, and determine whether it should be approved or not. So I see that as our two options here. I'll go back to the commission and see if there's any comments on those concerns. Any?
So, in response to the fine thing, I largely agree that we got an interesting player here, but I consider the fine with me making them go and dig up that pipe and put the sleeve on it. That was not a cheap thing that they had to do. But What basis do you think that we have to throw a fine out for it then, I guess, just,
Are you asking me?
yeah.
I think there was non-compliance with the order of conditions from at least February 26, 2025 through June 10th, 2025. And I'd propose $100 a day for that 104-day time period. And just to respond to your point about digging the pipe up, one, I think that's self-inflicted. I think we can all agree. Had they engaged the commission as the order of conditions said, they wouldn't have had to do that again. And in my mind, the only reason that was remediated was because we caught, this was kind of a catch by Amy. So I hear you. I'm not super sympathetic. I mean, I'm not super sympathetic to that argument, what I said. So.
This area that's, I guess, there's no north arrow, on the bottom right corner of the house, what was that previously? Was that grass? Was it?
Yeah, Amy was looking up the existing
Yeah.
conditions.
Oh, okay,
plan.
sorry.
Existing conditions didn't show anything.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean nothing was there. It was just that Alec concentrated his survey and adding details to the work. And we did discuss, that they were flipping the house at the time. And if they wanted to do anything else, then we would address it later, because we knew there was more wetlands to delineate at the back. So it was I know that it very well may have been, a broken
Yeah,
up
we can check. I
walkway.
believe I have photos, and we can check near map. But I think it was. I believe it was. I should have photos. Apologize for having them. I think it was a small brick paver type of thing, a little thinner type of thing. But we can provide photos on that. It's definitely access to get back there. There's a entryway back there, so
Sure.
it's definitely frequently used. So
It makes sense to have it. It's,
Yeah, and my thought is if it was previously disturbed area and not wetland area, if it was even grass, replacing it with a stone is sort of a 1-for-1 swap, even though it's not, even though we would require a permit. I would be amenable with that, but
yeah. Okay. Sean, anything to add?
Not at this point, no.
Okay. Matt, anything to add?
No.
No, okay. I guess the long and short of it, actually, Mr. Shongris, would you like to
Yeah,
add
absolutely.
any more comments?
I'll just give a little bit of a refresher on this because it was a while ago. So with this particular project, the client I was hired to file the notice of intent because of the sewer line connection. At the time of the filing, it was just kind of doing a flip. The house was really beat up, and he was just he didn't have all his money there, and we made it clear not to do any additional, increase impervious areas, stuff like that. You can get away with siding, roofing, etc. The client got the approval. After that, he was short on money, so it took him a little bit to do the install. There's a little bit of a language barrier. He wasn't clear on that yet to contact me. When during the before, he should have contacted me prior to start the excavation. There was a little loss in translation there that never happened, and the contractor that did the work, I guess I would qualify, wasn't the greatest contractor, since most contractors should know if you're within a wetland area, there's an order of conditions to follow. So then briefly I was just speaking with Amy about this project, veered anything, and then that's when she found out that this got installed. Since then, we did repair everything. I don't think there was really trying to pull a fast one. I just really think the client didn't know, and we did some productive mitigation. We actually went there. When Amy did her site walk, she noticed that there was some chips, wood chips and random brush all around the backyard that looked like it was older, not from him. He did plant with wild native grass seeds, which appeared to be established still. They established pretty well. And he removed the shed as required by the order. And I think, like I said, I think he just made an honest mistake, and they are now living there, but I'm not sure how long.
Okay. Well, I think what is appropriate for this time, and this is really just my opinion, I'm one vote, but when additional work is done, specifically like walkways and patios and things like that, we do require a modification. Now, all your engineering is done. I think what's in order for consistency with this commission is that we require a modification request, and I think that can be done pretty quickly. Get on to next meeting and just do it by the book, and truly be in compliant with the order of conditions, because I think right now it isn't. So that would be my opinion, and
I'd be able to speak on that.
yeah, yes.
Because I think when we first because we were back here, when was it? Maybe a few months ago on that. I believe it was was that
February?
February? Was that still under, I thought it was we kind of brought up the idea of the patios, and it seemed like the commission was kind of okay with that and wasn't really going to push it. Is it since changed, or is that the route we want to go? Because we could certainly go back and do that. I'm just trying to speed the process up, so avoid multiple meetings here.
So just so the commission, just a refresher, that if you do require an after-the-fact modification, fees are doubled for those. So it's usually $200, so it would be a $400 filing fee, just so you know.
Okay.
And I think if it was a regular wetland without a vernal pool, maybe, it'd still work without getting approval, but maybe it being a vernal pool with the new setbacks, make it worse, I guess. But
And the client did also provide some mitigation that was, as we were talking earlier, cleaning up and adding some native
I
grass
asked for
planting.
cleanup and stuff like, and
Trash was
he did
removed.
do it.
Are there any abutters on, that want to be heard for this project?
If I could ask a couple, so what exactly is not consistent with the order of conditions? The pea stone?
The pea stone areas,
Yep, there's two of them on,
yep,
yep.
these two areas.
One
That's-
appears like it's completely outside the 75 to the vernal pool,
Yes,
and the other is
is
some of
hugging,
it's-
hugging the back of the house,
Yep.
right along,
Yep.
yep.
Is that the only difference? And where this pea stone is closest to the wetland, that was pavers, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it was like a brick type, beat-up brick walkway.
And and as far as the larger pea stone pavers, what was that before?
Beat up grass.
Beat up grass?
Beat-up grass.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, no abutters answer. I think we've run this around several times. I guess we're ready for a motion at this point.
Can I just,
Yeah, go
just
ahead,
to my
Matt.
point earlier, I'd like to make a motion. I don't know if the proper vehicle is an enforcement order, but I feel like I'm going to lose this one, but I'd like to move to impose an enforcement order and a fine of $10,400 for the period of noncompliance with the order of conditions from February 28th to June 10th, 2025.
And an enforcement order to what? To do what?
To impose the fine,
To impose the fine.
yeah,
Okay.
that needs to be paid prior to issuing a certificate of compliance.
Is there anyone who wants to second that?
Can we do that? Can we issue a fine without first, this is the first time it's come up that we would be fining, is that right?
On this project?
On this
yeah.
project. So can you retroactively fine?
Can you clarify your question?
Sure, like usually if we say, we will put in an order, you will do this, this, and this, and if you don't, you're gonna be fined X amount of money for X amount of days, which is prospective.
Sure.
Here, this has already occurred, and I guess you could do it going forward from here on in, but I didn't know if, under the regs, we could do it retroactively for that time period. Sorry?
I don't know if it really says explicitly in our regs, like timing.
Yep,
But I see your point that usually, we institute fines to get
Things in,
compliance.
Right.
And if we don't get it, then the fines
yep.
are issued. I mean, we pretty much did get, I'm not trying to defend anyone, I'm just saying we did get response, and they moved towards compliance, like, the minute I called them, or I emailed them, actually, telling Alec and the homeowner, or the owners, that, listen, you're out of compliance, stop work, I'm gonna be issuing an enforcement order. And Alec responded by email, and the owner came in the next day.
And what did that enforcement order say?
That basically, I'm putting this on the next agenda, and we're gonna talk about all the non-compliant issues.
Yep.
And expect an enforcement order that comes out of that. So,
Okay, so our two options are approve as is or require modification.
but we have a
We
motion on
have
the
a
table,
motion,
though.
but
No second?
no
Yeah.
second.
No, I mean, I'll second it, sure, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
Second
just
for
have some
discussion.
And that's, so, February, fines of $100 a day from February 28th to
February 26th, 2025 through June 10th,
through
2025.
June 10th. Okay.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any more discussion on this? On fines?
Sure, just to think about past projects. I know that we do have in place a after-the-fact modification request, because this does happen occasionally where somebody comes in and does something that isn't consistent with the original order of conditions. Hopefully, it's not more work, but sometimes it is. And it's meant I mean, the amount of the post-fact modification is more than just a regular modification, maybe twice, and I think the intent of that was to penalize the person that didn't follow the orders of conditions. Is there any reason why this is different than that?
Can I just clarify, my proposal doesn't involve the patio. It involves the time period where, the project was not, in the past, the time project was not in compliance with the order of conditions.
And in what regard?
Say it again?
Well, they didn't, we talked about the sewer line.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Not just the the sewer line, but, kind of all of the other conditions that they didn't follow when they did that work. And, I think, according to the timeline, we discovered that, the commission discovered that around February 26th. Amy verified that the sort of remedial work to bring the project in compliance with the order of conditions, she confirmed that on a site visit around June 10th. So that's, the basis isn't this work. I'm, sort of fine with what's been discussed around this but it's more the historical non-compliance with that, with a very clear order of conditions for a, 3-month plus period.
Yep. So they should have done it earlier.
They should have complied with the order of conditions,
Yep.
which they didn't do, like, in any meaningful way.
Until later on, but they did. The sleeving of the pipe.
Sleeving.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sleeving of the pipe.
yes, but had Amy not seen that, the property could have been sold.
No, it couldn't. There was still an open order and conditions. 'Cause
Well-
that wouldn't have.
It was on
As soon as Amy told us about the sleeving, it did get fixed.
was-
I was unaware as the engineer because I was never notified. I was found out by Amy that it happened, but as soon as it was fixed.
This isn't about you. This is
No,
about
understood,
the property
but
owner.
I'm
but
also
they-
for defending my
had we not seen that, the real estate posting, because the property was up for sale.
For sure.
We wouldn't have known that this,
But you wouldn't
Work
have, there
wasn't
wouldn't have been a
done.
sale. There would have been a pause on we'd have to come back here and file the be at the COC, and we find out nothing was pushed. And I guess I want to make clear, though, it was a homeowner doing this. The order conditions are very difficult. He should have known, yes, this is not ideal, but the erosion control was set in place, so I think impact to the actual environment was very minimum, if any. There's very clear photos of erosion control were set. The main things that weren't done was Amy wasn't notified the pre-site meeting and all the big lists that the your standard North Andover, conditions.
there was no bond and there was no no sleeve, and that could have been.
The
like,
sleeve wouldn't be,
problematic.
the problematic, the sleeve is really, in the engineering standpoint, there's really no purpose for the sleeve. It does nothing. It was from the former commissioner that was here, or chairman that requested it. A sleeve's there for when it does fail, so now if it ever fails, it goes on the outside of the sleeve, then goes back in the wetland. You have a 5-foot gap. Engineering impact, I don't think it's critical. I just think the fine's a big hit on a homeowner who, this is his first time running a project.
Brad, did you have a comment?
So just for
Oh.
clarification, just want to make sure, April 14th, 2025, we performed a site visit when the sleeve work was just starting, like excavation was starting to redo it. So they fixed it on the 14th of April.
When did we open the enforcement?
Hold on, we issued,
That was,
I think it was March 26th.
Yep.
And so they mobilized and got their,
Our first meeting was on the 26th of March.
yeah, so then on April 14th, they started
I just
the
want
work.
to point out that having a sleeve across the flow net of a stream crossing does have a bit of an effect, so. I
Not,
don't wanna hear
but
that.
not drastically though, because I mean, the truth, it's still, you have a 10-foot section, it's gonna fall back into the sleeve and it's gonna fall into there. And the likelihood that it's not like it's a force main, that's a 2-inch force main pushing effluent. It's not like it's a heavy, 80, 90 PSI pipe, so it's there. I just think the impact, if it were ever to occur, would be very far down the road.
Well, the sleeve is part of the order, so.
Sure, for sure, I'm not
and
saying
it
anything
was-
about that. Yeah, yeah.
And it was satisfied eventually. We do have a motion and a second on the table about fines, what was the specific amount, 10,000?
10,400.
104 days, so it was $10,400.
Okay.
So this is kind of using fines in a different way than we have in the past. Usually in the past, it's used as kind of a, hey, we're serious. We want you to do this work. And in this case, we have someone who's done the work and they're at the end. And now we're not talking about fines. And I don't necessarily hate the idea of kind of punitive action here, like, why didn't you do what you were supposed to do? Here's a fine. I feel like 10-4 is a bit heavy. This is feeling more like a 2K thing to me.
Well, and I'll point out that the work was done within the 3-year time period for the order of conditions. It wasn't done in the way that we would like it to be done or that it should be done, but it was done within the 3-year time period. So much of the order of conditions was satisfied within the terms of the order. So is there any more discussion on the fines?
Well, Brad proposed a fine, but a lesser amount. What do you think of that?
So from my perspective, to be consistent with past projects, we have issued an enforcement order, asked for the applicant to come in, asked for a fix, and really issued fines if action wasn't taken. And in this case, in my opinion, action was taken. So to be consistent with previous projects, I would not fine.
This would absolutely represent a change in
Yeah.
our procedure.
I understand the varying perspectives, but that's my opinion.
Any more discussion on fines?
To your point, we vote on the motion, and if there's a motion for
Yeah.
less fines, in a second, we can.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to issue fines in the amount of $10,400. All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, the motion doesn't carry. Do we have another motion having to do with, either the way the project went or the Keystone patios? Again, two options, approve as is or require modification.
Or continue so that they can do the modification, right? We can't, I think that would be the motion, right? motion to continue to allow the applicant to file a modification. Or deny it as is.
Oh, okay.
Those, I
yeah.
think those are the two options.
Yeah, you're right. That's a better clarification of the second option.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I have a motion on any of those?
Well, do you want to continue and file a modification?
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not, if we say no and you vote on, if I say no and you vote on it, what's the next action? How's that work then?
Well, it's either going to be denied.
And if it's
And
denied,
you're
what
out.
will be the next steps?
You'd have to refile.
File for a modification.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll deny that and we'll see what you guys say. Is that correct? This is
So
where I
I
get,
think if you don't
So-
agree to come back with a modification, the commission would decide whether they want to issue this certificate of compliance or not. They could deny it. They could also issue an enforcement order requiring an after-the-fact modification, I think.
And the fines, not the fines, the fees would be
The
doubled.
fees
if we
would be
did that
doubled.
Versus if they just.
No, the
submitted-
fees are doubled no matter what.
Right. Yeah. So we're either going to continue it or we're going to vote on your certificate of compliance
All right.
request.
we'll see what the vote comes out to.
What do you say?
I don't know.
What did you say?
So I think,
You would like us to call a
I'd
vote
like you to-
for approval of the
Correct.
certificate of
Thank you.
compliance? Okay, so the applicant would like that. Is anyone moved?
I'll let you do it.
Motion to issue the requested certificate of compliance for 242-1878?
Well, do you want to issue it or do you want to deny it?
I guess,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
So, at the end of the day, a Keystone diagram is an erosion control measure in the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook. And so while this hasn't been the nicest player so far, I'm going to go ahead and say I move to issue a full COC for 242-1878 30 Ann Road.
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, discussion.
I think you should go get a modification and do it the right way. But if you're going to make us vote, I'm going to probably vote against you.
Any more discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve the certificate of compliance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. And I will break the tie with an opposed vote as well. So the motion fails 3-2. So your next action is to, well, actually, we should consider the enforcement order as Amy suggested. Is
We're
that,
supposed to do that first.
huh?
I thought we were supposed to do that first.
what's that? I'm sorry, what?
So I
do
thought
the
we were supposed to do the
enforcement order first.
enforcement action first. Oh, well,
But,
moving on.
yeah,
Well, we didn't know whether the commission was going to approve the COC,
right.
right? So we really needed to figure that out first, I think.
So isn't the existing enforcement order still open?
It is, you could move to amend that to require an after-the-fact modification for the P-Stone stuff.
And
So moved.
Yep,
And-
second.
and, yeah, Matt asked for that to be considered concurrently with this. So there's a motion on the table to amend the enforcement order.
To modify. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have to amend that.
Amend
Yep.
the enforcement to require an after-the-fact modification
Yep.
for the P-Stone.
For the P-Stone patios in the jurisdictional areas.
Yeah.
And do we have a second?
Can I just ask for clarification?
Who seconded?
Sean did,
I'll second.
Sean seconded.
Yep.
Okay.
right? Did I just
Yeah,
speak up
no,
here?
I second everything.
Sorry,
Sorry,
can I just,
Matt.
just
Yeah.
clarification, the existing amended enforcement order is the one from 326?
Yes.
Amy, and so what happens with that if we approve the if we
Well,
vote for the motion?
We can, what I would do is probably detail what's been addressed and then what is the new order, the new
Requirement.
directive
Okay, because
that came out.
the question, I mean, I guess my question is, are the 1 and the 2 in here, have they been complied with? Or is that what you're saying you need to review in the existing enforcement order? I'm trying to figure out if we're replacing this with this new
So are you
thing, or
talking
if
about
we're-
on page 3?
Yeah, this amended
Yes.
enforcement orders requires the following.
Yes, the remainder of the wetland has been delineated and is shown on the as-built.
Okay.
And the section of the force main located of the culvert shall be excavated to determine proper sleeving, and that's been done.
So is the motion to replace this with the new,
Yes.
so this goes away?
Well, we actually moved to amend it, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it sounds like what's happened is many of the things in
Things
the enforcement order have been
addressed.
addressed.
Yes.
But there's new information tonight.
No, that's correct though, because this information was brought in during the first enforcement meeting we had. So for my client's sake, it would have been very helpful to know that, because we could have had one less meeting here. So all this information was brought to you guys
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Yes.
You've seen this plan before.
Yes,
Then why wasn't it on the
It was. This
The-
is the set that we had a
the
draft
notice
plan.
of intent?
and we
Yep,
we
because
did talk
now,
about
the
it.
notice of intent did not include that part of the plan. When we had the March 26th meeting, I went out and I did as-built everything, and you guys saw this plan. You
Yes.
saw the piece stone, you saw everything here.
Yep.
And then we went back, we did everything, so now we're back here, and now we're gonna have to go amend it and then come back, so.
So there
Yeah.
was already work done in the jurisdictional area, yet it wasn't included in the notice of intent.
Correct. That's what
Correct.
happened during the March 26th meeting. We came back here, and
Right.
you were all aware of the patio.
Right, yes, because my recommendation email of March 25th, in addition, since Peastone patio was installed without a permit, the remaining part of the wetland will now need to be delineated, so it was,
No.
yeah, it was on your radar, but it,
Whoa, read that, give me that again. It was,
so,
you gave them direction to do what?
no, so the order required if any other additional work at the back of the house or anywhere else was proposed, they needed to go back and delineate the rest of the wetland towards the back of the house, if they decided to do something back there. Because the delineation
It
stopped.
stopped like halfway. The delineation stopped roughly halfway through the house, because the first purpose of the project was strictly the sewer line.
The sewer line.
And then, like, during the enforcement meeting, she requested us to have us reflag it, so we got her to go back out and extend the line.
And that's
Yeah.
because of the Peastone. Work.
Okay. So
So
that
that's what
much
they
was
did.
done, and then that defined that the P zone would be located in a jurisdictional area.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it wasn't proposed as part of the work in the NOI?
Right.
Why not?
It was already done?
Yeah, they did it probably when they were, I don't know, they,
Between now and sometime in
between,
March, or?
by the time, when we,
Before March.
after
But-
we issued the,
But we do after-the-fact modifications from time to time, and this seems like it might be one of them.
Correct, and that's where we're at now. Would have been helpful prior, because now we have to come back, but that's we have to do.
Yeah, I still think that it's appropriate to do the modification. It looks like the additional delineation was only half the job, and for some reason, it wasn't, the whole job wasn't done. All you
Is
no,
had-
you guys
That's again for
approved the
this-
plan with a partial delineation. And we said, okay,
We
that's
approved the
fine.
plan with the P stone?
No,
No, because
Right.
we looked at,
right.
right.
But not the entire wetland was delineated.
So
And we
we,
said, well, if you want to do any other work in the back, you have to finish the delineation so we know what falls in
Ye-
jurisdiction or not.
and it is jurisdictional.
Yes, it is.
So it should be part of the modified NOI, in my view, anyway.
The 70, because Director, is that jurisdictional? Just want to confirm the whole thing. Well, a portion of it is, I guess, the back one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it because that's
It
the
is.
75
It
to
is.
100?
It-
Okay.
It is. And then it's in the regular,
Yeah.
this part's in the regular.
yeah, the no
250
bill.
and 100, so.
Well,
So we have a motion Brad made a motion to amend the enforcement order to require an after-the-fact modification for the P-stone, and Sean seconded. That's where we're at.
That's where we're at. So we have a motion and a second. I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's unanimous. We require a modification with an amended enforcement order.
Okay.
By the next meeting?
It won't be, I will be gone. It's gonna be probably a couple months out.
You're, okay,
Yeah, so
because
I'll
you're
have to
getting
put-
married and you're,
No, I'm
right?
honeymooning, so I'll be gone. I'll probably be like November.
Okay, okay,
But I gotta go to Boxford now, so.
Okay.
okay, all right, sorry about that. Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Yep.
Okay, let's hope we can move a little quicker. Next up is certificate of compliance request for 242 1430 859 Winter Street. This was issued in 2008.
Alrighty, yeah. Order of conditions issued in 2008 govern the construction of a 26 by 24 carriage house, a two-bay garage, basically, 51 feet from the bordering vegetated wetland, and a driveway connection installed off the end of the existing driveway. All work was completed within a year of the order issuance, and is in compliance in the approved plan and the order. The site is stable. I've observed the site and with no outstanding issues or concerns. Recommend issuing a full COC without, with prescribed ongoing conditions.
Okay.
Looks nice, I'm all set.
No comments.
Just wish we could have these come in, more than, 17 years from the date of the OOC, but no questions.
Nothing for me.
Are there any abutters for 859 Winter Street? None answer? So I'm ready for a motion.
Move that we grant the certificate of compliance for 242 1430 859 Winter Street.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? There being none of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
What's that?
I wasn't even a lawyer yet.
Next up, 242 1532 93 Cricket Lane.
Alrighty. This order was issued in September of 2011. It governed two small additions to the house, a 5-foot bump out. One of them was a 5-foot bump out with a full foundation for an in-law apartment, and the other one was a 2-foot bump out to accommodate a gas fireplace, and both were outside the 50-foot no-build zone. Later, the applicant requested a modification for the construction of an at-grade 16 by 6 deck and associated concrete walkway at the rear of the house leading to the driveway for access from the in-law apartment. These structures were in the 50-foot no-build zone, and the commission did grant a waiver for those. All proposed structures have been built per the plan, and the site is stable. Wetland markers on the trees are sufficient. Recommend issue a full and complete certificate of compliance with ongoing conditions as prescribed.
How do you feel about 14? I'm all set.
Steve Stupinski mentioned the wood deck in the back of the house that was not,
Yeah, that's,
was not shown on the proposed plan. Is that
that's the
non-jurisdictional?
modification that,
Okay,
that's the modification that he didn't research the file, so.
okay. Sean? anything?
No questions.
No questions,
thank
you.
Okay. Are there any abutters for 93 Cricket Lane tonight? None answer? So I'm ready for a motion.
Move that we grant the COC for 242-1532, 93 Cricket Lane.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? There being none of those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's unanimous. Next up, small project, NACC 348, 48 Compass Point.
We can come and sit. Thanks. Good, how are you? Alrighty. So this condo complex was a 40B, and it was constructed roughly in 2017, 2018. So therefore, they did not strictly have to adhere to our bylaw wetland setbacks. Project involves construction of a 290-square-foot paver patio in a triangular-shaped common area that's sandwiched between the middle of 4 buildings, as shown on this plan. It's an excerpt from the as-built. The area does have a subsurface infiltration chamber and a river birch in the middle of it. And it's a gathering space for the unit owners. It very often gets muddy and unusable, so they'd like to make it more functional throughout the year. So they're proposing a paver patio less than 300 square feet, and it's greater than 50 feet from the wetland. Construction access will be accomplished best between Building F and the most northeasterly unit of Building G. Knowing that the infiltration chamber was below, I inquired with the condo project consultant, Patrick Garner, and his main concern was that the clean-out, the clean-out connection was properly protected. And I did inform the landscape contractor of that. And he's here this evening. Tim's here. And I would recommend finding this project to qualify as a Category F, patios less than 300 square feet, and vote to approve the project with conditions that require pre-construction meeting with conservation staff and the landscape contractor. I don't see the need for erosion controls because the buildings are the erosion controls. And then a post-construction meeting just to verify built conditions are compliant.
Okay. Comments? Especially about the infiltrator?
So I think
Looking
the
for you two guys.
contract, do you have a photo?
Did you have, do I email you that?
I have that, but as far as
Oh, of the,
infiltration cleanout
so-
area?
Yeah, it's actually not that great of a picture, but there is. Let me see if I have it. This was that other thing, I can't really speak too much on this, but Anthony wanted to do that.
Okay, all right.
For the cleanout. So the cleanout's located towards the back. It's a small white PVC pipe. It'll be surrounded in like 3/4 wash stone. None of the pavers are really gonna impact it.
Could
Right
you-
now, it's just loose mud
Could you
on it.
speak into the microphone? I'm sorry.
A little hoarse. Do I have to push it to talk?
No, no,
No.
no.
So the cleanout is located towards the back, by
Will
the
it-
AC units.
Will it be within the, will it
Not,
be within the limits of the patio?
no, it's
Okay.
but we're gonna surround the pavers with wash stone to help
Okay.
runoff and drainage, so it won't be in the pavers.
Okay. Brad, any questions?
The only question is, I mean, we're going from that grass to, it's not just a paver patio, it is, like I said, the wash stone that goes all the way around it. Is that a stone patio at this point? I think the project's fine, but I question the under 300 square foot designation.
Well, I think an infiltration area at the edge of a patio isn't a patio. It's an infiltration trench, in my opinion, but.
Oh, I know, we're just replacing grass with, we got less than 300 square foot of paver patio, but then we have stone along it. That is a change in type of ground surface.
Right.
I got a lucky mountain out of a molehill here. It's outside of the 50, so I generally
Yeah.
don't care. But or
Okay.
is it going some ways? We are putting stone in the 50, aren't we?
It looks like it. I don't know. It's not clear by the submittal.
I'm just going by the little rendering that they have here.
So this concept that I have up now, that's the patio. But you would do a swath of crushed stone around it, not the entire surface that we're seeing, right? You're not gonna do the whole
Well,
area.
that's what they do want, a washed gravel. There's about, I think the building is currently surrounded with about a 2-foot drip edge of washed stone. So they basically want to continue that because it's just a muddy mess. It's, grass doesn't work there. There's not enough sunlight. It gets trampled. The kids
So,
play back
of
there.
this, so they wanna extend this
Yeah, they want to.
throughout the whole area.
Yeah, whatever's not pavers, they'd want to do wash stone.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Would the wash stone be within the 50-foot setback?
No, I don't think so.
It looks
But
like
that's not a structure,
No, but,
and it's not any closer to the wetland than the building already is.
No, I'm just not sure it qualifies under category F. I think it's a perfectly fine project that's
So-
approvable.
A different category under small project or a different type of application? Because I'll be honest, I wasn't aware of the wash stone going.
It looks bigger, but it is the whole area.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
That
so-
wasn't clear to me.
So what is missing, I guess, from the plans is we got, right here, the proposed patio area showing a rectangle in the middle of there.
Well,
and
this
then-
rectangle, that's the subsurface infiltrator.
Oh, that's the infiltrator, okay.
Yeah.
One that size just has a one PVC port, not a manway?
They usually have 2.
All
So
of
that-
these are infiltrators. They're all over the place.
So typically, you need, I guess my comment on the infiltration system was, I would recommend looking for a second one, because you need one to access it.
Yeah,
and
there's
one
a
to jet
manhole.
back. Oh, there is a manhole?
Yeah, there's a manhole.
Okay.
Yep.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, and that's outside of the hardscape part.
Perfect.
And I don't think they'd, if we had to minimize the wash stone area, I think their main concern is actually just having that paver section, whether they have to keep some grass, if that's an issue. I don't think, it's just the grass doesn't grow there. They don't irrigate.
I don't think you need to minimize it. I think the application just needs to reflect what we're actually building.
I put item 6, install wash stone around adjacent buildings to ensure adequate drainage. On, when you do a walkthrough, or I know Amy's been out to the site, like, some of the stone's already loose and it's starting to run off. So we're trying to kind of get that back, stabilize it a little more.
Sure.
And then use a maybe thicker wash stone so it's more stable instead of the smaller stuff that's there now.
Sean, are you looking into what he might qualify under over there?
I am.
Okay, I'll leave you alone then. Oh,
anything else, Marissa?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. I'll skip over you because I know you're doing that, Sean. Matt, any questions?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Nothing to add?
And Amy, sorry, Jim.
Yeah, I guess what I'm looking at, when I look at the highlighted plan of the, part plan of the buildings F, E, and G, and D, it looks like disturbance is proposed within the 50-foot no-build
Well,
area.
So, can I just clarify this exhibit? That's my exhibit, and this is just a bubble saying, this is the location.
Okay.
It's not, it
Then I
wasn't-
guess I
it
have a
wasn't meant
question.
to-
Will the crushed stone extend to within 50 feet of the wetland flag C38?
Or to the edge of building E.
Yeah, will it go all the way up to building E?
It's already there, I believe.
Yes?
Yeah, so I believe it's
So,
already there.
This is-
The
This
existing
is
Yeah.
stone's
probably
up there.
E, right
Like-
here. This is probably building E right here. Chiller units, crushed stone, going
Already
around the
there?
corner.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, we got our foundation drain.
Yep.
But we're talking about adding,
I'm
filling in
just,
that whole area.
I'm trying to clarify whether it would require a waiver or not. And
No, it does not require a waiver. It's
It's not
crushed
a
stone.
structure.
It's not a structure.
It's not a structure,
It's
yeah.
just
Just-
stone.
Just want to be clear on that, because we can't approve small projects that require a waiver. So,
Amy, what's the catch-all for a small project?
L.
It's an
It's
L now?
L.
K, L, N?
L.
L?
We have a compound category.
Are we ready for a motion?
Sure.
Before you do that, are there any abutters for Merrimack condos? None answer, so,
I also want to point out a consistency thing. We just sent somebody packing because of a pea gravel patio.
But they,
within an
but they
area.
didn't build it yet. That's the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
But we also have a plan that doesn't reflect what was going to be constructed.
and for a small project, we typically don't.
Well, I also think the other one was, at least part of it was within 50 feet of the
Well,
wetland.
this-
The other one.
This
It was.
concept
I'm not a wetland.
does
but
show
of a
it. I
vernal pool.
just,
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm basing everything I'm talking about on.
Yes.
is Looking at this as we,
That largest V portion too extends between building F and G, if you can picture it on the other
Yep.
bubble plan that Amy presented. So it's actually extending further away from that 50-foot mark.
Yep.
So it should be going further away, if anything, if that helps.
Okay.
Also access with equipment. We're gonna be working right out of the truck, so minimal disturbance right between those two buildings, F and G, so it really minimizes disturbing any other areas or anything. It's very easily accessible, so.
Do
No
we have
trucks
an-
over the infiltration.
No trucks.
do we have an idea of the actual square footage of area we're changing lane cover of?
It was circular, it was like 290 square feet.
No,
for the
I'm-
patio.
That's
For
the
the patio.
paver
The rest of
area.
it, I
I'm
don't
talking
know.
about all of it.
I don't know.
Because we're considered a pea gravel patio a patio, that's also a patio.
Yep.
We're being consistent.
So that's why I don't think it's an F, that's for sure.
No, it's not an F, but I think it is L, you said?
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna, if I were to make a motion, I was gonna move it as an L,
Okay. I
with
mean,
the
I'm-
conditions that Amy's already suggested.
I think that's the ticket. So moved.
Okay. Second.
Motion and a second to consider this as a small project category L and to approve it as such. I would like to, as a comment, I would like to make sure that the patio, that there's a pre-construction inspection there, that the patio is verified that it is more than 50 feet from the wetland line, or especially that flag 38.
Okay, yep.
So that additional condition. So we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? They're
So
being,
you would make sure that they keep everything outside of the 50. You don't want to put any gravel in the 50.
No, you said the patio.
the patio, the blocks.
The blocks,
Right,
patio
So the
block.
difference was the other one had a vernal pool, right? So the no disturb was 50 there. Here it's 25.
Yeah, they're in 75, no build though.
Well, that would have been no build versus no disturb. So the reason why I saw the other one as a problem was they were within 50 feet of a vernal pool. They were disturbing land within 50 feet of a vernal pool. Here, they're not disturbing land within 25 feet of a wetland. Is the distinction I was kind of thinking. That's just,
And it looks like they're proposing the pea stone to go inside the 50, but we're not considering that a structure. So that a waiver is not required for that. That would
Right.
disqualify it as a small project. It would have to be an RDA. So, just
If it needed a
procedurally.
waiver, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, any more questions, discussion from the commission? All right, motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? And that's unanimous. Good.
So for the
You're approved.
pre-construction, will we mark that 50 off?
Yes,
Or just so
I'll
we
do
know?
that. Yep, we
Okay.
will do that.
All right, thank you
Yep,
so much. Have a great
thanks.
night.
Next up, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, 242-1916, 0 Bonnie Lane. This one is continued from 8/27.
So, at the last meeting, I don't believe the commission had any questions other than waiting for a DP file number to be assigned, which we have now. So I think we can close and issue an order of conditions confirming the delineation as shown on the plan.
So we discussed this
so
delineation
order
last
of
meeting.
resource delineation, not conditions.
Order of,
Resource
did I say order of
You did.
conditions? Oh, I'm sorry, I meant order of resource area ORAD.
Oh, rad, yeah. Okay.
All
Any?
set.
All set? All set.
What's that?
All set, thank you.
Okay, are there any abutters for 0 Bonnie Lane that want to be heard? None answer. So I'm ready for a motion.
Move that we grant and issue the order of resource delineation, close and issue the order of resource delineation for 242-1916 0 Bonnie Lane.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? And that's unanimous. That passes. Moving on to notice of intent. I'll take this out of order. 242-1915, 351 Willow Street, Muffin Realty Trust, that they've requested to continue to next meeting, September 24th, 2025. Motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? And that's unanimous. That is continued. Back up, small project NACC number 3, I'm sorry, not a small project. It's a bylaw project. NACC number 347 Dale Street, Winter Street. Trinity Home Builders, continued from 8/27.
So the commission received a revised plan that does several things. It takes all of the work outside of the natural heritage protected area, setting erosion controls at that edge of natural heritage zone, reducing disturbed areas on site by 7,302 square feet, eliminated the walkout basement due to new house location. The proposed driveway layout near the proposed house was revised. It's still outside of the 50-foot, but there's a bit of a hammerhead. Well, it's just a different configuration. There's a proposed stockpile area was relocated. I had asked for an infiltration trench around the hammerhead at the driveway around the new house, and a note that the existing gravel driveway will be excavated out down to native soils. The septic system design is still under review with the health department, but all septic components are entirely outside of jurisdiction. Jack Sullivan, design engineer, is with us this evening if you have questions.
Okay. I'll start with you, Jack, because there's some things that have happened on this, and I'd like to hear your part of it.
Sure, okay. For the record, Jack Sullivan, owner of the Sullivan Engineering Group. I think Amy hit on a lot. I did provide a $500 check tonight because before the proposed house was entirely outside the 100-foot buffer to the isolated wetland. Now it's moved inside, so under your bylaw fee, there was a $500 fee dues. So I did pay that tonight. So if the commission remembers, the rear portion of the site's within a habitat area. It was determined that there was a protected turtle species within the Natural Heritage Zone, and Natural Heritage asked for a turtle study to be done. My client called around to some few environmental firms. The cost was up there. He said, what if I just relocate all the work and I don't go inside the zone? So I did send the updated plans to Natural Heritage. I asked them to email, provide a letter to you and Amy saying, that they were outside their area. So the whole idea was to get outside of their area. There'll be no work within that area. And that's really about it.
Is the natural heritage area shown in the dashed green lines?
In the dashed green line.
Okay.
Yep. So the whole gist, that the driveway was basically the same, like Amy said. I just added a small turnaround at the end, so they wouldn't have to back all the way out of the driveway. And like Amy said, could you add some crushed stone infiltration at the end of that turnaround? So I did. And previously, the house was a walkout because it was located further back on the site. Now it will not be a walkout. But it's the same house footprint, it's the same design. And as Amy stated, we're still under review on the septic, but the septic tank, D-box, and leach fields are all outside the 100-foot buffer zone. And typically, they just ask for a few notes. They're not going to ask me to change the location of it. I had 2 good soil test holes.
Okay. I'll just add to that. This is, when we've had this project on our radar for a couple months now, and it's a very approvable project. We typically don't we don't close the project until all the information is gathered, which includes the Board of Health and the septic design approval. So typically, we don't approve, we wouldn't approve this under normal circumstances and our past practices. I don't think you'll lose any time, but I'll just leave it there and go to the commission for questions on this. Brad, anything you've got?
I'm all set here, and I would be happy issuing a contingent approval if we ever decide we're okay doing that.
Marissa?
Yeah, I'm all set. I think, if we wanted to issue an approval, I would say that if anything changed, there would have to be a modification.
Sean?
No questions.
No questions?
All set, thank you.
Okay, so we either continue or close and issue a decision within 21 days. Typically, we don't do that without approval of the Board of Health and the septic design. How close is, it doesn't matter how close it is.
If it makes it easy for the commission, I could just continue it. If that's past practice, it's not going to hold us up.
Yeah.
We can't get a building permit anyways without the septic approval, so why
there you
don't we
go.
look to continue, and that'll be our one loose end.
Okay, the applicant requests to continue. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Yes,
Do you
discussion.
think September 24th is enough time?
Yep.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay. Are you getting feedback from Mill River?
Well, I'll hold September 24th if for some reason I don't get comments back. They've had it like 4 to 5 weeks now, so I would think, I don't know what the delay is, but if we could continue to the 24th, and then
okay.
if that doesn't work, I'll look to continue out.
Okay,
Okay.
so we have a motion and a second.
Motion and a
Matt.
second. Any abutters to, what is it?
Dale Street, Winter Street?
Number 347 Dale Street. Oh, no, yeah. NACC 347 Dale Street, Winter Street. Any abutters? None answer. Ready for a motion?
Oh, we got a second.
Oh, we already did. Okay.
We do? Do we?
Just call the vote. All those in favor,
we
all those in favor of continuing to the next meeting, say aye. Opposed? And that's unanimous.
Thank you, everyone.
I did.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, thanks, Jack.
Sean made it.
Sean made
Second.
it. Okay, sorry, that's right. It's okay.
Okay, enforcement orders, 242 1878 Ann Road, that was addressed and modified.
Did we do Salem Street, Jack?
Oh, I missed one, yes. 242, no number,
Oh, yeah.
989 Salem Street. Thank you.
All righty. Okay. This project involves repaving, widening, and squaring off the driveway, construction of a roughly 3-foot retaining wall, construction of a walkway leading from the front steps to the driveway, and then removal of a 28-inch pine tree. Resources on the site include bordering vegetated wetland to the north, east, and west side of the property. The wetland line was inspected by the field inspector, and no changes to the flagging were made. The house was constructed in 1970, so that's prior to the Wetlands Act and prior to the bylaw both. The house is on sewer, just to be clear, town sewer. The existing driveway at the mouth is about 4.3 feet from the BBW. With widening, it would be as close as 2 feet. The proposed retaining wall will be 13 feet roughly from the BBW at its closest point. They did submit a waiver request, and they are proposing mitigation for the new incursions into the zones at 805 square feet with a total of 15 native shrubs. I had asked for square footages and ratios, and that's the last email attachment at the back of your packets. Representatives here this evening, and you can introduce yourselves. Thanks.
I'm Robert Melvin with Stamsky McNary.
Colin Moriarty, just resident at the house.
Okay. Good. All
And I
right.
don't believe we have a DEP file number yet, so we couldn't close tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
Driveway project. Brad, any questions on this?
So we are widening the pavement going across the resource area. Or I guess, what are we widening the pavement to for the driveway, the entrance?
It'll be a total width of 14 feet.
14 and a half, okay, and. is
No,
there gonna-
just 14.
Okay,
no.
14. Is there going to be associated grading? You're gonna need to bring in more dirt
Yes.
for that?
So the intent is to bring up the grade of the driveway pretty much all throughout. Reason being, at the top of the driveway, we're trying to give them a flatter area. Currently, as you're coming off the driveway, it's very steep, even right off the garage there. And it just poses a hazardous condition. It's very difficult to turn your vehicle around. The owners are often having to back their way completely down the driveway right onto Salem Street, which is a dangerous condition.
Yep.
So that's our main driver for expanding the driveway here. We are also raising the driveway. It's just slightly, in a matter of inches at the initial stretch. And that was to sort of allow runoff a path toward the wetland. And this path is, it actually increases the distance before it reaches the wetland boundary, which would help promote infiltration and help promote cleaning the water prior to reaching the wetland there.
Do we have the limits of grading shown? in there?
Yes.
Is that
So
a big thick dash line?
if you can follow along the driveway, we have solid lines shown crossing. That's all the grading we have proposed there.
That's the new contour tying in with there.
Okay, I was just wondering, I mean, we're coming down to a low point in here, how far our slope would branch out since we're widening the driveway? And is there a driveway culvert underneath there?
I believe,
There
Colin,
there is at, right where Salem Street ends, there'd be a sidewalk and then a culvert. So
Right.
there is a culvert.
right, so it's off property more.
Going across Salem Street, there's no driveway culvert associated with this.
Are you saying it's connecting here to here? Or across the street?
It's, no, so it's connecting on this side. And I would have to say it does go under the driveway. It's pretty far down, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's Salem Street ends, there's somewhat of a sidewalk, but not really, and then the culvert,
Okay, well,
yeah. Which is very, very far down.
oh, off property totally.
Yeah, it's probably in
That's
the-
outside
I would
the
say
limit
it's
of
about
work.
That's probably in the town.
6 feet down.
Okay, make sure that that's just depicted
Okay, yeah, we can
on
pick that up.
plans. It looks like it's well outside, or mostly outside your limit of work, and just confirm that it's
Totally.
operating and
Sure, yeah.
you're not gonna affect it with any grading. I think I'm all set.
Where were so the proposed plantings are,
They'll be in the mitigation area. We didn't
Okay.
specifically show them, but they would fall within that hatched area shown.
and is that currently disturbed area?
Yeah, so if the tree line that we have depicted there, that represents pretty much the edge of lawn for the property. So it's currently disturbed with lawn.
Replacing lawn with a mitigation area.
Correct, yeah.
I guess my only other comment was reading through the alternatives analysis. Like I understand that it's a difficult site, but it seems like there could be a little bit more explanation into other routes for the driveway and other alternatives that were analyzed.
Are you asking for additional alternatives?
Yes.
For the driveway design,
Yes.
Okay.
there really isn't.
I mean, I think the one we provided was, let me read through here. I mean, I could give right now the argument that there really isn't much room outside of the 50-foot zone to, construct a turnaround area here.
Could I speak on that? Could I
Yeah,
speak on
sure.
that? So as the driveway comes up, if you'll see existing, when you pull in to the house, it curves to the left. And it's that area that I would like to put a square edge on and connect back with how it runs up to the side of the garage. So it comes off the side of the building, down, and then curves. And it's just that curve that I want to make put an L on it and make it an actual turnaround, because right now we have to turn into the lawn. My biggest concern is that my children don't like to do it, so they back out onto Salem Street, which is a very straight.
Yeah, that's a
People
drive so fast.
It scares me, it bothers me, and I just want to give them a place to just turn around. I mean, I drive on the lawn. It's not my choice, it's not what I want, but, you know, I'm not backing out. We're playing odds there. Sooner or later, it's not gonna go well. So I don't see, I mean, I have agonized over this. It's just got so many limitations for so many reasons, including grade, that I just don't see another place to make this work. And all we're doing is taking that curve and making it a 90. And that will just make it work.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, I didn't add anything extra. I didn't go, oh, let's go here and add parking. I just got enough for them to turn around and not be able to defy me anymore on this.
Yeah, and I think that area is,
It's all I have.
yeah. I'm more thinking like other, I guess there's not a ton of room.
Anything else gets closer to, you know, that culvert area, the woods line. That's about as far away, it is as far away as I can get. I mean, I considered everything with this. It's just so challenging that, you know, it's almost, and it's not even optimum for me, but it seemed to be the only way to get this done.
I'm all set.
Looks like a very congested site with, in terms of wetland and setbacks. Sean, any questions?
Just want to make sure I'm interpreting the proposed conditions. The diagonal hash marks, that's where you're proposing additional asphalt?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Without the notes.
You're proposing additional asphalt all the way down to Salem Street on both sides of the driveway, is that right?
Yes, what we're trying to do is widen the driveway to 14 feet width there.
The hash marks that are over where he references the L, I'm trying to find the setback there.
There's 50-foot no build right there.
Yep, there it is, okay.
20, yeah.
Yep, where's the 25? Is it 25 on here? Here it is. 25's there. So you've got two separate wetlands here, right? One on the left, one on the right?
Correct.
Well, they're connected, but yeah.
Yep. So I think I see the need for your L. I understand that.
Thank you.
I don't necessarily think extending, widening the driveway as it approaches Salem Street is, you know, you're so close to the wetlands there. I don't want to get any closer to the wetlands than you already are. I don't think that's consistent with what we do, so I'd like to try to keep that the same.
The problem with that is that you know, it is narrow enough that they are crumbling, the edges are crumbling on both sides.
Yep.
And I just want to get a little bit more.
And you're going to repave the whole thing anyways, right?
I have to, it's all broken,
That's
it's
part of the
coming,
project.
rocks are coming through, roots are going through it.
Yep. The additional asphalt, I think it's asphalt that you're putting from where you have like the deck and the walkway over there. What's the purpose of that? Just to get more?
Where's that?
Just to make the turnaround a bit easier for turning out vehicles.
Yeah.
And again, it's so hard to, with the multiple wetlands, what's the distance to the wetland of that improvement?
I can get you a number. It is about 19 and a half feet there.
I don't think I have any other questions.
And that side of the driveway continues up to that, right? It meets that corner.
This
Yeah,
is the
okay,
edge.
it's, right, yep.
Matt, any questions?
I guess maybe I would have to see it. The retaining wall you're proposing, sort of the right section of it, not the part right near kind of the house and the proposed new
Yes.
driveway, but I'm just curious why,
Kind
like,
of-
Why it extends as far?
Yeah.
yeah.
So what we're doing is we're raising the grade by the doorway there.
Okay.
So in order to raise it to the grade that we're proposing, the wall needs to extend in that direction that far for the grade to catch up. Because otherwise, we're going to be proposing a steep slope to correct that issue.
Okay.
So we'd prefer to have it a retaining wall there. That way, everything's more stabilized in the area.
And sorry to be ignorant, like what kind of wall?
Stone wall.
Stone wall.
Okay. I got no other questions. Thank you.
But it would be less than, it would be less than 4 feet, right?
Yes.
Okay, so wouldn't need a building
Three,
permit.
I think it's 3.2 at its
Okay.
highest point.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm good.
Okay. Sounds like we've beat this up a little bit. We do need to continue, as you know. We need to get a DEP file number for this, so we need to continue. What do we have for things for them to do between now and next meeting?
I think get the pipe on the
pipe.
plan,
Yeah, the culvert.
the culvert, right?
Sean, is it approvable for you to have a 14.5-foot driveway?
Well, I don't know when we would vote on the
It's
waiver.
14.
But that's the first,
I keep saying 14.
yeah. I mean, I think the first thing we need to do is vote on the waiver. I don't know if we do that now or once we get a DEP file number.
Once we get a DEP file number.
Yeah,
I mean,
I personally, I'm not prepared to allow the waiver as proposed. That's just me.
Do we
I don't-
have a recommendation on the driveway?
Avoid, minimize, mitigate, right? So,
A nice 12-foot lane sounds pretty nice.
yeah.
Would it make more sense maybe doing gravel on the sides to extend 14 feet, perhaps?
I don't think the alternatives analysis really requires anything more than what you have there as far as the width at that point. The other part that I would probably be hesitant about is, the retaining wall, I know that it's serving a purpose of trying to level the ground in the front, and that's great, but I don't think that meets, it's, not a necessity. And there's pretty much nobody on this board that's more hesitant to give out waivers than me, so that's the reason why I'm doing all this talking. Not everybody feels that way, so, don't get all concerned because it's just me. But my mentality is, you've got a safety issue there, and I'm gonna work with you to try to make it safer, but not 1 ounce past that.
So, in the front of the house for the walkway, you have to raise the grade so the walkway
It will be level,
will be level.
correct.
And, okay. So
It's-
right now, you're walking over uneven ground to get out of your front steps.
It's
To the driveway.
relatively steep, it's
Yeah.
just unobtainable.
Yeah.
Nobody uses the front.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a mess.
I don't know if any of the commission members would want to come and look at it. Maybe it really would,
I would.
okay. So
Yeah, I would
maybe
come.
Yeah, that would make sense.
sometimes we just have to get our eyes on it.
Okay, so depict the culvert on the, at the end of the driveway. Consider options to adjust that driveway width to its existing width of 12 feet.
At a minimum, included in the alternatives analysis.
Include it in the internal.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you want to keep it at 14, I would suggest addressing that in the alternatives analysis.
Yeah.
The proposed walkway might belong in there as well.
Could we compromise at 13? I'm serious. I know it's funny, but I am serious.
Well, I mean,
I
think maybe,
want to work with everybody.
no, I know, and
Try
I
to
think,
make this
I think
more
it would
functional.
behoove some of the commission that feels the need to go look at it. It might change your mind if you actually see what they're dealing with, so. So, we'll get at least a couple of the commission members out there.
Yeah, and is there a
And it's
method?
the drop off on both sides, which you'll see when you're there.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
drop off.
That'll be very,
Looking at the site distance,
Insightful.
if you can,
Yeah.
if there's.
I was gonna ask, is there a construction method to, eliminate or at least minimize the crumbling on the sides of the driveway that you had mentioned that is troublesome for you? Is there a construction method that could hold it at 12 feet width and still solve your problem?
So, not that I'm aware of, and I am in the business, but it's how it runs is, it's, you'll see when you're there that it's crumbling on the sides. It goes to dirt. It's probably, do you remember, is it like it just starts to roll down completely into the wetlands. Like, that culvert is probably 6 feet down from the road elevation. And that thing goes in, it's pretty high. So there has been instances in the winter without salting or sanding where a little too much inertia coming down the driveway or even coming in off the road a little bit, you will slide. And so nobody's done it yet, but if you go off, you're going off and down. And it's a recovery at that point.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to give a little more room for this to just take my worry out of it. I'm really not trying to go any further.
I think it's a good idea to
I just want
address
a
that.
flatter, smoother,
In the,
less, it goes down into a hole and comes back up.
I think it's a good idea to address that in the alternatives analysis, so
Okay.
you can do that before next meeting.
Appreciate it.
Recommend some photos for any commission members that wouldn't be able to attend a site visit too.
Be happy to do that.
Okay, we need a motion to continue.
In that area, on the plans, just so we can see how far out.
I move to continue
To next meeting.
to the next meeting.
Yeah, any abutters to 989 Salem Street? None answer? Thank you, Amy. Motion and a second to continue. Discussion? There being none of those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Is the next meeting scheduled already?
Yes.
So in between now and then, we'll connect to try to schedule a visit for those who want to come out. Okay,
That would be great.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all very much.
And
Thanks.
check with Amy on the deadlines for revised plans, too. Yep.
And, do you have my number?
Well, I think it's in the notes of the town. It's
Yeah,
noticed,
mine,
yeah.
okay. And then, someone will be calling me
Yeah,
next
I'll
week,
probably
I
maybe
think.
Email, do you have an email too?
I do.
So maybe I'll just email,
Okay.
You got
Yes,
it.
we communicate all the time.
all right.
All right, thank you
Okay,
very much.
thanks a
Good night,
lot.
all.
Thank
With
you.
the other one, thanks. Okay, enforcement orders. 129 Forest Street, continued from August 28th.
All right,
Yes.
okay. So this enforcement order was issued for installation of hardscape patio, grill area, partially in the 25 and the 50. Last year, this time, the commission issued an enforcement order requiring its removal by the end of August. That was completed. So I got out there, took some pictures. Hardscape's gone. They may have to clean up a little bit of the leftover, stone dust and stone that was underneath. But their plans are to loam and seed, and I would defer to the homeowner, Paul, for the timeline for that.
It's next weekend. We're doing it ourselves, so it's next weekend.
Next weekend? Okay.
It'll be as complete as I know how to complete it in the next weekend, so.
Yeah.
My
So
son
could
is a
you-
professional landscaper, so he knows what to do there, and he'll take, he's doing all the machine work.
Could you state your name for the record?
Paul Trickett.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sorry.
Okay,
So, it's, just reporting that they've removed it, and that was the main directive of the enforcement order by a date certain. And now we just need to get it so that it can start to grow grass, which is probably perfect season for that, and finally stabilize.
so the enforcement order requires removal of the hardscape by the end of August, and doesn't address stabilization, does it? Okay, but he's doing that. Okay, so your recommendation is to keep the EO in place until the area is totally stabilized with growing
Yep.
with grass?
Yep.
Okay,
And then after that, they would be free to move forward with going for a certificate of compliance to close that old order out,
Yep.
which would be a good thing.
any questions from the commission on this? Go down the line. No. Nothing? Nothing? Sean? Okay. All right, so I don't believe we need to take any action on this. We'll just keep the enforcement order in place until we have active grass that's stabilizes the area, and at that time, we can lift the enforcement order.
Okay, so how do I just,
So
Call you
just
up
do
and-
your thing,
Yep.
Get it growing, give it a mow, and then call me.
Okay.
And then I'll come out and take a peek, and then.
I'm wondering if that'll be this year. What do you think?
Well, I mean,
I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to mow it before the end of the year or not.
Depends on the weather.
it
It
depends on
really,
the
it really does.
weather.
That's what I'm getting at. It could be,
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to get frost in the next couple
I
of,
know, yeah.
you know? So I don't know how that would work.
But
but
well, just, if you get it
I
done
really
this
thought about putting
weekend-
sod down for a little while too, so I don't know which way we're gonna go.
Well, that's.
My son likes
that's
seed better than sod.
instantaneous,
That's
yeah.
what I said to him. It says be done,
I know,
you
I
know?
know,
But,
yeah.
Okay, well, when it's ready, when it's stabilized, you
Yeah.
can let us
Just
know
call
for
you.
the final
Just call me.
inspection.
Okay.
Just call me.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Next up, enforcement order violation, 488 Pleasant Street, continued from 8/27.
All right. So, this enforcement order was issued for some vegetation removal along the bank of Stevens Pond. The commission granted an extension for deliverables based on the homeowner's overseas travel and staff vacations. In the meantime, Alexis and I met with the landscape contractor. We did do a site visit. We talked about, plantings and approaches for invasive species management and such. And upon closer examination, there's a lot of lines on this plan. We realized that there is actually a sewer line running through the property at the rear closest to the pond. I've highlighted that in red. There's an easement in orange on, that, encompasses the pipe. And then the top of bank is in blue, top of pond bank. And then the green line is the 25-foot no disturb zone. So there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of challenges to trying to restore the 25 fully. I don't think it's logical or reasonable. We want that sewer line to be open,
Accessible.
accessible for any maintenance. So I wanted to circle back with you guys and bring that to your attention and suggest that replanting only be done between the top of the pond bank and the wetland side of the sewer pipe, and maybe give the sewer pipe a couple of feet or 2 or 3 feet space to allow for DPW to access it if it ever needed it. It just would be silly to plant something so close and have it get ripped up if something should happen. So kind of wanted to bring that to your attention, get your read on it, and if you're comfortable with that, we can move forward with the homeowner can start picking out a plant schedule and, choosing species that you kind of want to put in there, that areas that could use a little, help. And then the landscape contractor can kind of lay out a invasive species management moving forward. So this is what we can do moving forward without getting in trouble. So that's basically that. Jerry Brecker, homeowners here this evening, but that's kind of where we're at.
Now, there was a planting plan proposed as part of the notice
The
of
building
intent.
of the house,
Yeah, okay.
which
And now we're
I
going to...
think retrospect didn't make sense in the beginning anyway, but.
But that
this
needs
was-
to be modified with this new condition of the sewer pipe and manhole.
Yeah, which wasn't really,
The sewer pipe and manhole have been there
Always
since
been.
forever.
Yeah.
And
Newly
it's not a
discovered.
2-foot wide
oh, no,
access.
oh, no, I know.
It's a truck width. So that's what it always has been, and we've essentially done nothing other than cover it with grass as opposed to mud and dirt. My understanding is before this house was there, it was a favorite parking spot for teenagers because it was all wooded and they could be out of sight. So I don't, we're into no impact, low impact. We don't have any particular plan for any of this, and I'm not looking to spend money on revegetating and all that. At some point, we might decide to do something, and we would come back to you and go through that. But we executed the vegetation, the planting plan 20-odd years ago when we built this house, and it all died because of the invasive species and vines and thorn bushes and everything else that characterizes the top of bank. Now, it would be great if all that could be taken out. In fact, every other property along Stevens Pond, there are 4 or 5 other houses, has lawn right down to the edge with no vegetation between the pond. But I'm not looking to do that. As I say, we're perfectly happy to leave things as it is for the time. As I don't need another reason to spend money on the property.
So essentially, what we're asking for here is just, we want to move the plantings outside of the easement. We don't like.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mustaine, but
I'm leaning back. I need to be better.
I'm getting older, and I have suffered some hearing loss, which I've gone and had tested, and I just sent a note to Melissa Rodriguez and suggested that we put loudspeakers in this room, because if you're in the audience, you cannot hear anyone here or people back there can't hear what I'm saying, so.
It certainly doesn't help when I'm leaned all the way back.
No, no,
there
I
away
understand,
from a
I
microphone,
understand,
too.
and as I say,
hear Brad either, so.
I can rarely hear Brad, too.
right, so I think it would
learning
be,
about myself.
I think it would be beneficial for all of us, and we're all gonna get old, so.
So the biggest change we're talking about here today is we don't want plantings in this easement area.
No, which takes up a lot of
Yep.
the 25 up against
Yeah.
the bank.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it almost follows the bank and beyond the bank, so,
That's not weird for old sewer mains, so like that.
well, yeah, I know, I guess.
And
But
I
there
might
is
add.
natural vegetation.
When we laid out this house, we deliberately did not run the sewer line from the house down to that sewer, even though it would have been a very short run, because I didn't want any machinery digging around the pond and all that. So we ran it out our driveway into Pleasant Street. It was, considerably lengthier and more costly and all that. But we understand what we have here. It's a beautiful place to have a house, and we want to make sure that it stays that way.
Now, I'm largely good with staying out of that easement. Where's the situation with the dock land?
Well, the commission said it can stay put and until we figure out the proper permit process.
We were thinking that would last like a meeting.
I'm sorry?
And we were thinking that would last like a meeting, of the whole figuring out what we need to do.
Right.
And
So-
here we are,
Yeah, so,
The-
you
many
know,
months later.
at the very least, it's an RDA. Let's put it that, if you guys want to retroactively permit it.
I don't think we do dock permits, do we? That's what we thought it last time.
There is a dock permit specifically called out for docks on Lake Kachikowick and pointing to the importance of protecting the water supply.
This
since-
is not Lake Kachikowick.
Exactly,
and,
so-
And actually, we're dealing with stabilization of the bank.
Yeah.
In this discussion. And although the enforcement order does mention the dock, let's stick on the stabilization, figure this out, and then I think that the dock isn't an immediate issue for this discussion right now.
We're not asking for or planning to do anything on the bank. It's not our intention at this point. And there are aesthetic reasons to do it, but if I don't want to go through this process just for the aesthetic reasons. It's too costly, it takes too long, takes up your time that could be spent on other things that have more impact.
So the order of conditions required a planting plan.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying that the plantings failed because of many invasives. So, I mean, we need to address the enforcement order.
Well, I'm not quite sure what you want to enforce. I'm happy to comply with anything that's reasonable and fair, but we're not doing anything. So we're not looking to, we're not looking at this point to change anything about the bank. I've looked into that. I'm not, as I say, I don't want to spend the money, and I don't want to go through this process.
And we're here because we were cutting trees, right?
There was a tree that came down, yes. And I want to say, by the way, that my house has been hit twice by falling trees. Twice. Once during construction and once about 5 years ago. So I'm sensitive about that, and when there's a tree that's in danger of dying because it's being strangled by vines and all that, then I think that it's reasonable for me to want to protect the house and take the one tree down that was barely on the border of the 25-foot zone. So we don't, we did it, we took the tree down. And we stopped as soon as it was called to our attention. And the landscape contractor, had plenty of conversations with the staff and worked out what could be done. We didn't do anything from that point that wasn't notified and all that. I mean, it's not a hidden away property. Anybody driving by there can see what we're doing. So we're just, that was the impetus for being here at all. But so that's.
So I just have a couple questions about the sewer easement. First, is this an active sewer line?
Yes.
Do we know what the language of the easement says?
No.
Because, and the reason why I bring that up is, and it might be of value to you, is the easement might say that it needs to be 10 feet clear or something like that. So I would highly recommend reviewing that easement language.
Okay.
Because the sewer does need to be actively maintained. And while I don't like to disturb anything within the wetland resource area or buffer area, an unmaintained sewer would pose a greater disturbance to the lake than
So the manhole.
cutting trees, so.
Right on the edge of bank.
Yeah, as I
Yeah.
said, that's why we
know.
didn't move to connect to it, because
It's,
it was.
yeah, it's a little concerning that is unmaintained manhole right there. There's probably, anyway.
Deal with it when it breaks.
So the proposal is just to leave all,
Yeah, I mean,
Well, the
The re-
enforcement order requires a planting plan for the 25-foot no disturb zone. It also requires a 5-year written vegetation management plan that addresses monitoring and management of that area, well, among other things.
But we're not planning to do anything. We've done the vegetation plan when we built the house. We complied with the order, we got a certificate of compliance. And we have I'm not interested, as I say, in making aesthetic improvements to the bank. The bank is the bank. And I don't want to do any disturbance to it. It's fine the way it is. The turtles like it, the beavers like it, the heron likes it. I mean, the amount of wildlife in front of our house or in back of our house is considerable. So I don't feel compelled to change anything. And if we decided that there was some good reason to do that, of course we would come to you and file as required.
So you don't feel compelled to comply with the enforcement order?
Well, no, I don't. I don't. I didn't understand that I was being asked to do a whole planting regime
that's what it
and
says.
take out what's there naturally. Is that what I'm being asked to do?
If you have the enforcement order?
Yeah, it's right here.
I don't have a copy of it with me. No, I've been. No. The answer is.
So you don't even know what you're saying you're not going to comply with?
I don't know that I haven't
I
seen.
emailed it to you and.
Well,
and I
when did you
mailed
email it to me?
you,
I haven't,
and-
no. The answer is, I have not reviewed it, and if you want me to review it and come back, then let's continue this hearing. But it's not my understanding that, because I met with Ms. Maxner to find out what the situation was, and I was never told that we were going to be required to institute a lengthy and expensive planting plan.
Well-
The question that was raised was, if we wanted or asked about clearing along the bank, taking out the invasives, all the vines and weeds and thorn bushes and everything, what would be required? And the answer was a planting plan to replace those things. Okay, I get that. We didn't take out anything when we built the house. All we did was cut trees down that were outside, that were where the house now is, that were outside outside the 25-foot zone. And we left as much as, we left every tree we could, because shade is a good thing. So it was not my understanding, notwithstanding this, enforcement order, which I will fully admit that I have not seen or read. It was not my understanding that we were going to be asked to undertake a costly and complicated planting regime.
Okay.
Well, just so you know,
Issued to you on May 22nd,
May 22nd,
2025.
we sent it May 23rd by certified mail. We emailed it to Louise, we emailed it to Jerry, and we emailed it to Andy.
Well, okay,
So-
be that as it may, that's not, then I'm going to request a month's worth of continuance so that I can understand what's being asked of us and whether or not we'll be able to undertake what you're asking for. Because if you're asking me to spend thousands and thousands of dollars
Jerry-
on a planting plan.
So Jerry, we sat down after you got back from your sailing trip.
Yes.
Right? At the
Yes.
table here,
Yes.
right? And I explained that, upon closer inspection of your plan, of the plan from when the house was constructed, that we have a sewer line, so we're gonna back off the requirement of this enforcement order for a full replanting of the 25. I probably should have recorded the conversation, because it's a he said.
I was the one who
she
brought
said-
up,
said
excuse
kind
me,
of
but I
thing.
was the one who brought up the existence of the sewer line.
Right, so then that's when I
Okay,
said.
I pointed
we're
that
gonna
out.
back
It
off.
was not my, now I'm hearing that somehow the whole 25-foot zone needs to be replanted? And
I
Originally,
think what you
yes.
need to do is review the enforcement order, sort of get up to speed on what is required, and we can continue this for a month as you requested. You can get your research done, and we can discuss it productively in a month. I would be amenable to that. What about you?
Well, look, I'm amenable to whatever I'm required to be amenable to, but what I don't understand is, here we are for a house that we moved into in 2006, and the 25-foot zone has been the same 25-foot zone ever since then, and mostly since before we moved into it, and now all of a sudden we're being told we have to do something costly and involved to this 25-foot zone because what?
Because you disturbed it
yeah.
without a permit, sir.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she just went through a bunch of pictures showing all kinds of stumps cut down within the 25-foot zone. That's why the reason we're here.
We're not here because you didn't.
We are trying to address it with this enforcement order.
Amy, he referenced one tree was taken down. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
little work done
but,
on that.
but there was,
Lots of brush.
shrubs.
Yeah, extensive
cut.
vegetation.
I wouldn't call it extensive vegetation. I mean, I invite you to come and walk on the property. You will see extensive vegetation.
I invite you to read the enforcement order,
Throughout the
sir.
bank.
Yeah.
Throughout the bank.
we're
I mean,
here-
what is there today is what was there when we moved in.
Sir, you're
We haven't
pretending
done a
you're here
thing to
because you
it.
didn't comply with your original planting plan, but that's not true.
We did comply. We absolutely
But
did
you're
comply.
acting like that's why you're here. You're here because you did some unpermitted clearing earlier this year. You're not here because you didn't comply with your original planting plan. You're here
This-
because you hired a guy to clear
Yeah,
areas of your
this
property that weren't supposed
this
to.
discussion isn't going anywhere, and really,
No, we didn't
let's
clear anything.
let's just go for a month. Let's give him what he asked for, to do his research, do his
For a month.
due diligence, and come back and have a good discussion on it. So anyway, we need a motion
Motion
to,
to continue this order for.
enforcement order,
Enforcement order,
488 Pleasant Street.
488 Pleasant Street to September 26th.
The last meeting in
Oh,
First in
right.
October, first meeting in October.
October 8th
8th, October 8th.
to October 8th.
We have a motion,
I'll second, but just a little discussion.
yes.
Not much more, though. Amy, you know, the enforcement order that you prepared was before you realized there was this
Yes.
sewer line and easement.
Yes.
So that enforcement order at that time is not what we're really asking for now.
Right.
We're going to be looking for something
Something
different than that.
Yes,
All right. So at the next
Yes.
meeting, we'll talk about what that something different is.
right. And in the meantime, read the enforcement order and then read the easement language as well, as Marissa suggested. So, because maybe it, you know, maybe it should have been done when the house was built, that we know what the easement said. And,
Well, it's an
you
easement
know.
in favor of the town, so the town,
I
the
get
town has,
so,
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's unanimous.
thank you.
great, thanks.
Thank you. Next order of business, 16 Tavern Road, violation follow-up.
Okay. Shifting gears. Okay, so the commission briefly talked about this at the last meeting. This is a tree cutting violation in the wetland and the buffer zone. So we directed the homeowner to engage a wetland consultant to actually flag the wetlands because we couldn't figure it out, and it was raining when Alexis went out there, and looked like the whole place was a wetland, but anyway, so he engaged Bill Manuel, he flagged the wetlands. Alexis and I met with him this past Monday, reviewed the flagging, we didn't make any changes. The house was constructed in 1946, and the wetland takes up a good portion of the yard. We discussed some things while we were at the site visit, and I honestly do not recommend replanting the entire area that was cut because you're gonna see that it's a lot of the side yard. But,
Can you show us on your,
yeah.
on your rough, very rough
This is-
delineation?
This is very
Yeah.
rough. So this is wetland.
Yeah, and how much was cleared?
Well, we estimated up to between 15 and 20 trees of varying calipers. So some this small, some bigger. There's a handful that were clearly rotted through, so there were some dead ones that really needed to go. So
Or all the trees that were cut, were they all in the wetland?
not, a lot of them were, yes, yes. But the homeowner had absolutely no clue
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the wetland at all
So
on his
now we know
property,
where the
and I
wetland
believe
line
that.
is.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
And we're considering guidance on what to replant?
yes. So there is an area that we identified that makes sense to replant at the rear. So like in this area, back here, there's a lot of the stumps that are resprouting. So that, and we talked about you're just going to leave this area to just go wild. You're not going to maintain it. You're going to let the stumps sprout
Within the wetland?
within the wetland, right?
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
And so I asked Bill Manuel to provide a better sketch than this. This is very rough, but a sketch of his flags, and for the homeowner to choose a plant schedule to do the area that we looked at. I gave him all native plant lists, and Bill will help him develop that.
So we're working on a
A
planting
replanting
plan with a delineated line
Yes,
to consider at some time in the future?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
There is some piles of like landscape timbers and yard debris and discarded potted plants that need to get cleaned up. So that's going to be part of the mix as well, so. But that's where we're at. It was a matter of we need to know where the wetland is, and so we had to wait for Bill, and I had to get back from vacation, so.
So the original enforcement order required some actions like around the end of June. And here we are in the beginning of September. Why the gap?
Finding a consultant that would take the job or have
Have
time.
they been in touch with you? the
Bill
homeowners?
Manuel.
Oh,
They
Bill Manuel.
engaged yes.
When did he come on?
So I think he was, June.
About,
I think he was engaged in July, but he really wasn't available until later in August.
okay.
So he said, I'll take the job, but I'm booked until blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so it sounds like things have gotten delayed, and we're going to start reviewing the planting plan this fall,
Yes.
possibly into the winter, but probably not.
Yeah.
And then there'll be planting in the spring.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, let's just stay
Yep.
on it, and with Bill
Yep.
Manuel, and we'll get him in front of us with the planting plan, and we'll move it forward.
Great.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. Good update.
Thanks.
I think we take no action on this. So we're at the end of the agenda. We're down to the decision for the order of resource area delineation, ORAD.
So
That
basically,
makes sense, right?
it's just findings that we
Whatever it takes.
agree and confirm the delineation as shown on the August 12th, 2025 plan, that it is a bordering vegetated wetland. And that's it.
We've already reviewed, the line's been reviewed,
Lines-
and we looked at it last meeting, I believe.
Yes.
But they didn't have a
A
DEP
D5,
number.
exactly. Yep.
Okay, so this,
It's a standard, sorry.
go, no.
It's a standard 3-year
Yeah,
approval, okay.
yep.
Okay, so is there a decision for us to review tonight?
It would be a few sentences if there was, but if you want me to draw it up, I will, and we can,
Do you,
They're usually really short.
we should have that, we should have a
Okay,
document to
that's
review
fine.
and approve.
yeah, all right,
as-
I'll
as
do
part
that
of
for
this.
next meeting.
So let's table this until next meeting.
Okay, yep,
Okay,
all right,
sounds good?
yep,
Not gonna trip anybody up, waiting for another meeting for that?
no,
Yeah, a lot's been going on, so,
yep.
good. Okay, I think we're ready to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Here's some signature pages.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, and that's unanimous. We are adjourned.